We are the American Indian College Fund. The college readiness team includes myself. My name is Sandy. I'm actually going to give you my traditional native greeting. Kanuhut BC, Uvanga Sikinya Gyaksak, Uvanga Sandy. I said, hey, how's it going? My native name is Sun is Shining. I do go by Sandy, though. Sun is Shining is more of a nickname for me. My name is Sandy Paco. I am Inupiaq. I was born and raised in Anchorage, Alaska, but now live and work from home in Oregon. I am just outside of the capital of Salem. I am the College Readiness Program Administrator here at the American Indian College Fund, and I am very excited to be talking to you today about FAFSA. Erin, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes, thank you, Sandy. Hi, everyone. My name is Erin Redshirt. I am enrolled in the Rosebud Sioux Tribe in Ogallala, Lakota on my dad's side. I was born and raised in Denver, Colorado, and that's currently where I'm based as well. That is where our home office is. The American Indian College Fund is located up in northern Denver. I am the program assistant for our college access and success space. So I kind of just support a lot of the programming that we do in our student success services department. And I'm really excited to be here with you all, and I'm happy you all are joining us today.
Thank you very much, Erin. All right, next slide. We still have classes that are logging in and students that are logging in as well. Welcome to those of you who are just now joining us. This is the American Indian College Fund. We are going to be talking about FAFSA today, and we'd like to welcome you to log in to menti.com, www.menti.com. And if you use the code 12750283, then you'll be able to participate in our polls and questions today. We have a whole bunch of prizes that I'm really excited to share with you today. So I'm going to kind of go over what those things are and what you can expect as far as prizes, and then what we're going to be talking about today as far as the FAFSA. We have a very new special cuddly friend that we're going to be raffling off today. This is our American Indian College Fund Buffalo, and we just got these in brand new, and we're really excited to share them with you today. So we're going to be raffling off a set of the Buffalo and everything else that you see here. We have College Fund tote bags. We also have these really wonderful bubblers that you can use to take study breaks. It's just a way for you to take a moment and just remind yourself to stretch, take a walk, take a breather, and then get back to studying when your timer runs out. We also have stress squeezy pencils as well. So in addition to all of these things, we're going to be raffling off $25 electronic gift cards. So today we'll be giving out a set of all of these things. So if you win all of these items. We'll be raffling off 5 sets of these to students and families and staff who complete the survey by the end of this webinar. Next slide. High school staff. In addition to us raffling off prizes for everybody who attends today and completes the survey, I'm going to reach out to you after this webinar and send you an email, and I'm going to welcome you to let me know what your first and last name is, the name of your high school is, the city and state location of your high school, and the number of students who are watching in the room with you by tomorrow. If I can get this information from you, then we can also hold an additional raffle for high schools that are part of our Higher Pathways programming. Those of you who've been receiving invitations from me, you'll know exactly who you are. If you are a current or a past Higher Pathways partner school, then I will be inviting you personally to send me all 4 of these things, and we'll hold a raffle, and the winning school will receive $250 towards a pizza prize, or sorry, towards a pizza party, a root beer float party, an ice cream party, whatever incentive you decide is appropriate for your school. If you do not hear from me, feel free to reach me at nativepathways@collegefund.org. I'm going to go ahead and put that in the chat just to share it with you. It's nativepathways@collegefund.org. There it is. Next slide. Just before we get started on talking about the FAFSA, I just want to do a quick check-in with all of our students because we do have high school students, we have current college students, we have staff coming in from a lot of different places. How confident do you feel about filling the FAFSA? Go ahead and go to menti.com. Again, that code is 12750283, and let us know how confident you feel about the FAFSA. Are you not sure about it? Are you not very confident? That's okay. We're going to help you become more confident, by the way. Are you confident but you have some questions? Or do you feel very confident? Go ahead and take some time and tell us how you feel. Wonderful. Thank you for those of you who are participating in menti.com. I see that we have many who are confident but have some questions. We have many who are also not very confident. That's totally fine. Our job today is to move you from that not very confident to either confident but questions or very confident today. So we're going to work with you on that. All right, next slide. Thank you for those of you who participated. Our agenda today is to, and our essential questions is to help you build that confidence in FAFSA. So today, I just want you to kind of think about why you should care about the FAFSA, what is it, and why does it matter? We're going to be going over all of those things today. If you're a current college student, a question you might have is, how can I improve my financial aid and lessen my debt so that when I get out of school, what I'm earning is what I get to keep, what I get to live off of? What types of financial aid are available to me? What does the FAFSA have to do with each type? These are all questions that, that will hopefully help you think about what we're going to be presenting about today. Another question I want you to think about is, how do I fill out the FAFSA? What are important details I should know when applying? And now that I know about it, what can I do to get started? So that'll be a question that we have at the very end. So that's kind of what we're going to be talking about today. Erin, next slide. For high school students, before we can even talk about FAFSA, it's important to talk about why consider college and what is important for you. So I'd like you to just take some time, either now or maybe go for a walk after school today, or think about this in the next week. Ask yourself, what do you want for your life? What do you want for your family? Think about housing, transportation, healthcare, food, amenities, technology, community, culture, and any other living needs I haven't listed here. What is important to you? What are your options to obtain those things? And what are the options that you are looking into to help you gain those life goals? And what is the right fit for them? Next slide. If you're currently in college, you might have asked yourself many of those questions before. So when we're talking about FAFSA, you might have some next step questions like, what can I do to lessen my debt in college? Are there opportunities that I would like to take advantage of, like scholarships, grants, or work study? This one was an important one for me. Actually, short story, when I went to college, the very first time I filled out the FAFSA, it asked me if I was interested in work study. I was scared of clicking yes on the box because I thought it would mean that I had to work during school, and I wasn't sure that I wanted to do that. So I didn't sign up for work study. I didn't check that box in the FAFSA. But then when I saw some of my friends working and I wanted to have a little extra pocket cash, I thought, oh man, I wish I had checked that box in the FAFSA. The very next year, I made sure to check that box, and it did not commit me to a job at all, but it gave me the opportunity to do work study if I wanted to. And I was able to make that decision as I was kind of going through school and earn a little bit of extra cash. So there are times when the FAFSA might help expand those options. So how might these opportunities provide me with some extra income during school or after I graduate? These are all things that you should be thinking about when you're thinking about the importance of FAFSA. Next slide. I'd like to ask all of the students here, high school and current college students, what is a life goal that education might help you with? Go ahead and give us just one short sentence on menti.com. The code again is 12750283. What is a life goal? Perhaps you want to be a teacher. Perhaps you want to be a doctor. Perhaps you want to give back to your community. Perhaps you want to engage in language preservation. Perhaps you want to make sure that you are earning enough to support a family. You want to get married, you want to have kids, and you want to make sure that they have health care. Whatever your life goals are, go ahead and put those in. Excellent. I see lots of wonderful answers here. Somebody wants to be a linguist teacher. Somebody wants to get a good job in their field of interest. A business owner with their art. Somebody wants to become an auto mechanic or an electrical engineer. Open your own business. Take care of family. Get a good job and live a fulfilling life. Being independent. These are all excellent reasons, and the reasons will be different for everybody because you have different backgrounds, different cultures, different values, different needs, and these are all valid life goals that education can help you attain. Thank you for participating. Erin, next slide. Whether you're in high school or in college, it is good to take a moment to consider why college, or if you're currently in college, why should I try to finish my degree? Why college completion? The median annual earnings of full-time year-round workers in the ages of 25 to 34 by educational attainment can be seen on the graph here. This is the 2020 data, so you can see that your earnings go up based on the college experiences that you have. So if you're just starting out as a high school student, this is an excellent chance to take a look at the earnings that might potentially be available to you based on degrees. You can consider maybe some college or associate's degree, or if you want to go full out for your bachelor's or master's. But also, if you're a current college student, I think this is still really relevant to look at. This is a great way to motivate yourself to complete that degree. And if you're interested, maybe even consider higher education beyond that bachelor's degree. Now, I will say, when I look at the earnings here, this is not a whole picture story. There are times when you may do something outside of college that can actually earn more, or sometimes you do something in college that can actually earn less. It kind of depends on your life choices and the debt that you choose to take on, and it depends on where you decide to go get that post high school graduation education, that post-secondary education. So this doesn't tell the whole story, but it gives a pretty good snapshot of how college could potentially help you to achieve those life goals that you just shared with me in the last slide. Erin, go ahead to the next slide. When we look at the potential of going to college, or if you are currently in college now, there are several types of financial aid to be aware of. Scholarships and grants are one type. You do not typically have to pay those back, but sometimes they do have requirements for you to fulfill. Work study is also an option. You do not have to pay this back. It's like you get a job while you're working through school. I actually did that. I had a couple of different work study jobs where I was just helping professors and just helping them complete some of their tasks that they needed help with. And it was a great way for me to earn a little extra cash, especially when I needed some cash to enjoy college life, or go out with my friends, or in some cases pay for some of the expenses that were not being covered by the scholarships and the loans that I got. So that's work study. Pell Grants, you do not have to pay back. They actually are awarded to you when you apply for the FAFSA if you are chosen for them. So they have a certain number of Pell Grants, and they're looking for a couple of specific things when you're filling out the FAFSA. So we'll kind of talk about that a little bit as we go. But you have a chance to earn Pell Grants. When I got my first Pell Grant, it was the very first year I applied for FAFSA. I had no idea Pell Grants were even an option, but when I applied for the FAFSA, I found out one day that I was awarded Pell Grants. That was amazing. It was kind of like almost getting a scholarship without even doing the application for it other than the FAFSA. Loans are also an option, but these are the types of funds that you do have to pay back with interest and fees. So this just is kind of an overview of different ways to pay for higher education. Next slide. Well, if you're considering higher education of some sort, what do you need to do for each of these options? You're going to notice that for everything it says apply for FAFSA, apply for FAFSA, apply for FAFSA. For scholarships and grants, FAFSA may or may not be required depending on the scholarship and grant. So you'll have to look actually at the scholarship requirements to see if they want a FAFSA or not. Work study, you will want to apply for FAFSA, and then once you are awarded that work study, apply for a campus job and go through the interviewing process, all of that. Pell Grants are awarded when you apply for FAFSA, and for loans, definitely want to apply for FAFSA and then complete something called loan counseling. It's usually, I think it's about a 10 to 15 minute counseling session that you can have. I know I did mine all online, so I just had to go through this like online class, and it talked about what my responsibilities for paying back the loan. Some schools might actually have an in-person component of that. It'll vary a little bit by the loan and by the school. All right, next slide. So now that we've talked a little bit about what your life goals are and what you hope to achieve, and we've talked a little bit about how FAFSA could potentially help you with that, let's talk about what the FAFSA is. The FAFSA is called the Free Application for Federal Student Aid, and it is the best way to be considered for financial aid for college. By completing FAFSA, you are considered for all of the things I just talked about: the grants, work study, student loans, state aid, institutional aid, tribal grants and scholarships. And the thing you need to know is that it's about to open up. FAFSA opens October every year. So October 1st this year, it will become open. You can apply by going to studentaid.gov, or you can download the My Student Aid app on your phone. Next slide. The one thing that I want to really emphasize is to go to the studentaid.gov website, not any other websites. There are websites that look like they're FAFSA websites. Sometimes they actually ask you to pay for their services, or sometimes a person will offer to do your FAFSA for you if you pay them. You don't have to. This application is free. You just go to studentaid.gov, and I actually have the direct link to the FAFSA page here. It's studentaid.gov/h/apply for aid at FAFSA, or sorry, /FAFSA. We'll include those links for you in just a little bit. Erin, when you have a chance, if you can pop that link in the chat, that would be wonderful. This is what that first page looks like. Now, if you go to just studentaid.gov, you're going to go to a website that will, right now it says something about students who are already in college, apply for your PSLF waiver. You can ignore all that. And if you go to the very top of the bars, you'll see one bar that says FAFSA on there. So if you can't remember this whole link, just remember studentaid.gov and then look for the little bar on the top and then click on the FAFSA section there. When you do that, it will bring you to this page. And if you are new to the FAFSA, you would click on the Start Here button. If you are a returning college student, then you're going to click on Returning User if you've done the FAFSA before. Now, some college students maybe didn't do FAFSA their very first year in school, but they're interested now. That's okay. If you didn't do FAFSA that very first year, then you're going to go new to the FAFSA process as well. Next slide. After you click on either new or returning user, it's going to ask if the application is going to ask you to identify who you are. You might be a student and you want to access your FAFSA form. You could be a parent or family member who's filling out a FAFSA form for a student, or you could be somebody else who is helping a student fill out their FAFSA form. So you're going to select the option that best describes who you are. Next slide. After that, if you have not done this before, and this is your first time, FAFSA is actually going to ask you to create an FSA ID. An FSA ID is kind of like a passcode that you use to access the FAFSA, and you're going to want to keep this and use it year after year. So it should be something that you can remember. So where I have create an FSA ID circled, if this is your first time doing FAFSA, make sure to click that button. If you've done FAFSA in a previous year, you're going to pull out that FSA ID that you saved. Wherever you kept that number, save it, and then you can use that to log in to continue. Next slide. Just a little bit more on the FSA ID and password for both you and your parent and guardian. You only need to create an FSA ID for one of your parents, not both. If you're a high school student, maybe being raised by another family member, it doesn't have to be parent. It could be aunt, uncle, grandparent, other caregiver, whoever it is. One person needs to create an FSA ID. Then you're going to write down your FSA ID and password in a secure place and save it. Remember, you can use this year after year. You're going to use this in the next year so that you don't have to go through this whole process again or click forgot ID. Make sure you save that somewhere safe. Next slide. And then once you've created FSA ID, you're ready to begin preparing to apply. There are 6 things you need to fill out the FAFSA form. You need that username and password that we just talked about, the FSA ID. You're going to need a social security number and tax records from the 2020 school year. Now this has gotten a lot easier than in the years past. Back when I went to school, I would actually have physical copies of my tax records and enter the numbers in as it was asking for it. But now they actually have an automated transfer process where you can have the website retrieve the taxes for you. They'll ask you for a couple of identifying things like your name and social security and whatnot. But if you filed taxes, they should be able to pull those up. If you have any untaxed income, you'll want to have records of that as well, and records of your assets, that's money in like a bank accounts, checking and savings, whatever your assets are, and then a list of schools that you're interested in. When you fill out the FAFSA, I would make sure to include all of the schools that you're interested in if you're a high school student. Now, if you're a college student and you're thinking about transferring to another school, I would just make sure to have that list as well. So this is relevant information no matter whether you're high school, current high school, or current college student. Next slide. Once you have all of those documents and pieces, then you are ready to log in and complete your application. Completing the application can take between 20 and 30 minutes. And if you get stuck with any of the questions on the application, you can actually call FAFSA for help. They do have their helpline on the website, but we included their number here if you want to write that down. It's 1-800-433-3243. If you have questions above and beyond that, I would definitely recommend reaching out to the financial aid office at the college or university that you are interested in, or you can reach out to your counselors if you're in high school to just ask them questions and receive help from them as well. At the end of the application, please be sure to review all of the information that you input it to make sure it's accurate. Provide your and your guardian's signature using your FSA ID. Don't forget to submit your application and check out the confirmation page. When you are finished applying, they'll actually pop up a little page. It says, "Congratulations, your name," and it basically lets you know that you've applied. There will be a confirmation number and a date that the application was submitted. Next slide. Some just quick tips and tricks to keep in mind. I've been saying over and over, keep your FSA ID somewhere safe. You're going to need it in the future. Check your email often to look for updates from the Federal Student Aid website, and then the colleges you're considering attending. I would also be sure to check spam. Sometimes those emails do go to the spam box, so just keep an eye out for that. Don't forget to renew your FAFSA every year. You want to do this every year that you are considering attending a college or university, because they're going to take your tax information for every year and kind of determine your eligibility for aid and scholarships and work study and your expected family contributions, all of that. Please remember to contact the financial aid office at the colleges you've applied for if you have any questions about your financial aid award, the letter that they give you that tells you what your award is, and make sure to pay attention to deadlines. Some schools, some scholarships will require that you apply for FAFSA at a certain time. So just kind of be aware of those things as well. Next slide. Just a moment ago, I used the term expected family contribution, and this is a term that is just important to know about. Expected family contribution is determined by FAFSA when they look at all of the questions that you've answered on your form. They're going to look at your income. They're going to look at the taxes that your family has turned in, and they're going to generate a number, an expected family contribution number that determines what your responsibility for providing a certain amount of money to school is. Now, my family, unfortunately, wasn't able to help me with college, so the expected family contribution for me was based on what I was responsible for. So I had to find the scholarships and the grants and the work study, all of those things, all of those financial aid options to help me make up that amount. Your cost of attendance is going to be listed by your school. So the FAFSA can actually give you a little bit of an idea when you're looking at your schools, but your cost of attendance really does come from your school. They'll go over what the credit costs are and all of the fees are. Your cost of attendance includes tuition, room and board, books, supplies, transportation, if you're studying abroad, any miscellaneous expenses. So basically, how much does it cost to go to this school? You will receive a financial aid letter from the schools that you apply for or are currently going to every year, and it kind of breaks down what your expected family contributions are and cost of attendance. Next slide. So earlier on, I told you when FAFSA opens, and it's the same time every year. Let's see if you remember when the FAFSA opens. Those of you who have logged in a little bit late, welcome. My name is Sandy Pacco. I am the College Readiness Program Administrator with the American Indian College Fund, and we are participating on www.menti.com. If you would like to join in, the code is 12750283. Excellent. I see many students and families and staff remembered that the FAFSA opens October 1st every year. Thank you for those of you who participated. If you didn't get the answer right, that's okay. We're going over it just now just to make sure and check your understanding. So just remember, FAFSA opens October 1st every year. Next slide. One thing that we would like to make sure to communicate with you is that the FAFSA is not a scholarship application. The FAFSA can help you with scholarships, especially ones that require you to apply for the FAFSA, but it in itself is not a scholarship application. Next slide. We do have scholarships, by the way, so I wanted to take a moment and just share scholarship information from our organization with you. The American Indian College Fund has something called the Full Circle Scholarship, and to apply each year, you'll go to collegefund.org. The scholarship opens up in February, and the priority deadline for applying is May. I'm going to drop this link in the chat here, just a moment. There we go. All right, so collegefund.org is our main website, but if you want to go specifically to the scholarships page and bookmark that, I would highly recommend you bookmark that. And then if you have a planner, students, right in February, on the February section of your academic planner, apply for the Full Circle Scholarship. Give yourself a reminder that we have scholarships and we like to help our students. Next slide. A little bit more about our scholarships. Here are some of the stats. In 2021 and 2022, during that school year, we dispersed over $11.8 million in scholarship funds to over 3,200 students attending 250 different colleges and universities. Our scholarships were provided to students pursuing vocational, bachelor, master, doctoral programs across a very wide amount of different degrees and majors. To be eligible, you must plan to be a full-time enrolled student. You must attend an accredited nonprofit college or university. Your cumulative GPA should be 2.0, and you should be an enrolled tribal member or a descendant of one. There's a lot of different ways that we have to prove tribal descendancy or tribal membership. So go to our website and check that out. We walk you through all of the acceptable documents to prove that enrollment. And then make sure to submit an application by May 31st. So I'm going to repeat myself again. The scholarship is not open yet. It's going to open February 1st, and then priority deadline is May 31st. Next slide. We have an additional FAFSA event. So today was kind of like a broad overview. Why FAFSA? Why should we care? What are the basic things we need to know about it? But we're going to go even a little bit more in depth next week with our very own Juan Ruiz. October 4th at 6 p.m. Mountain Time, we will have another FAFSA overview. Juan was previously a financial aid officer at a college, and he's kind of got the lowdown on all of the questions that are the most commonly asked questions by students, by staff, and he is going to kind of walk you through a more in-depth walk or give you more in-depth information about the FAFSA next week. So we'd like to invite you to that event. Let me see if I can drop the link for that right here. I'm going to put the link in the chat for you. I will have a link page at the very end of this presentation that will have all of the links that we're sharing with you. We'll make sure to share this out with you. In fact, we're going to give everybody a copy of the PowerPoint, and all of the links are clickable, so you'll have that at the end of this presentation. It'll probably take a day or two for us to share that with you. We want to make sure we include a copy of this recording, this webinar with you as well. So if you want to rewatch it later, you'll also be able to do that. We will be doing prizes next week as well. So just kind of be aware of everything we're offering for prizes today. The new College Fund plush buffalo, the tote, the gift cards, all of that. We're going to be raffling off next week as well. Next slide. In addition to the FAFSA event today and next week, we have a special FAFSA completion giveaway for current high school students. If you are here watching with one of our partner schools, I reached out to those schools, I shared this event, and I told them, please watch with your students. Please, bring the classes together, watch with students. If you're in one of those schools, they received those special invitations. You are going to be eligible for a $25 e-gift card upon completion of your FAFSA while supplies last. So staff, I will have a link for the FAFSA giveaway. All you're going to need to do, staff, is to confirm that the students that in your class or your school have completed the FAFSA. They can show you their completion page, like on their phone, or if they take a snapshot of their completion page or their email and they just show you that, then all you have to do is fill out a form that I have, and you'll let us know how many gift cards we need and where we're going to send them. We'll send electronic gift cards. You'll collect the names of the students and their email addresses, and we'll send them gift cards while supplies last. Next slide. Now that you've watched the first FAFSA event, you may have more questions, and that's okay. We have, like I said, an event next week. I just dropped the link in the chat for it, so I would advise you to go to that. We're actually going to have a Q&A, so you'll be able to ask specific questions of Juan during that, of anything you might be wondering about that wasn't answered today. We also have from last year a College Fund step-by-step walkthrough video. If you go to our YouTube page, that's AmericanIndianCollegeFund.com, on that channel, there is from 2001, there's a College Fund FAFSA walkthrough, and Juan actually goes step by step through each question of the FAFSA and answers questions of the students and staff there, and we recorded all of that. And we would like to really highly encourage you, if you're struggling with the FAFSA, check this resource out. He was amazing in just going through every step of the actual form itself. I'm going to go ahead and drop that link next. And like I said, all of these links will be provided in a follow-up email to all of the attendees today. So that link is now in the chat. All right, next slide. So now that you've had a basic overview of the FAFSA, I wanted to check in with you. How confident are you now feeling that we've talked a little bit about it? Are you still not sure? Not very confident? Confident, but you still have questions? Or are you feeling very confident? It's okay, no matter what your answers are, because this is only the first event. So if you're still not sure or you're not very confident, we would highly encourage you to go to the October 4th event. That's actually going to be an evening event. We want to provide evening events so that family as well as students and staff can attend. So that'll be next week, October 4th at 6 p.m. Mountain Time. And we also have the other resources like the walkthrough with Juan that I just shared. So feel free to check those out as well. Wonderful. I see people participating in our Menti.com here. Again, if you can't see it, it's www.menti.com. The code is 12750283. I'll go ahead and drop that in the chat just in case you have anything kind of blocking your view. I know that code is right up on the top there. All right, so there's the Menti code there. I see that our answers have changed a lot. We have a lot more confident, but I have questions. That's wonderful to see. And we have some very confident as well, and some not very confident as well. Thank you so much for participating. Next slide. In addition to all of the FAFSA resources that I shared, I want to let you know that the College Fund, the American Indian College Fund, we call ourselves the College Fund for short, is here to support students and families in a wide variety of different ways. Last year, we held a Tribal Colleges and Universities Fair in November. So if students were thinking about going to a tribal college, maybe they were first-time high school students, but maybe they were also students at a mainstream institution that were looking to transfer to a tribal college or university. We're going to be hosting that fair again this November. It'll be the second week of November. I will follow up with everybody who is a part of the webinar here today and send you emails about that. If you are interested in attending, you'll get an invite for that. So we'll have that again this year. It's a great way to look at your college options, whether you're a new to college student or if you are a current college student, but you're you're feeling like maybe you want to explore tribal colleges as an option, it's a great place to actually listen to the colleges. Representatives will be speaking at them and talking about the degrees, talking about the college. They'll be showing you pictures of what the colleges look like. It'll be an excellent chance to learn about the tribal colleges near you. We do have other FAFSA events, as I said, so I won't go into more detail about that, but we have the links that we'll share at the end here. And we also have regular coaches chats that we offer throughout the year on a wide variety of topics. Some of them are on financial aid. Some of them are on how to get ready for your first semester in college or your first year in college. Some of them are about how to succeed if you're already in college and on how to get help if you need help. There's a lot of topics that they cover in the coaches chat. If you are interested in any of these other events and activities, I highly recommend that you sign up for our newsletters. You can go to collegefund.org, and if you scroll down to the very bottom of that page, you will see the Get Updates and News section here, where you can put your first name, last name, and email address into the form, and we will begin emailing you. I think it's about once a month. Any updates about other events that we have. We do game nights. There's lots of chances to win prizes for getting college ready and being college successful if you're a current college student. And we also offer updates about not just our scholarships, but other scholarships that kind of work in tandem with our organization that we like to share with you as well. So that's collegefund.org. Let me drop that link in the chat. There it is. And next slide. We're almost done here. All right, this is the chance where you get to put your name in for some prizes. We have a survey that we would like to welcome you to take, where you get to provide feedback on today. If today was helpful, not helpful, what did you learn? How confident did you feel about FAFSA? Please go ahead and take some time between today and tomorrow to fill out this survey. We welcome all students, all staff, all families to take a part of the survey. The prizes are for everybody. So we're going to do a prize drawing, and everything that you see on this page here, we're going to be raffling off 5 sets of these prizes here. So in a set, there will be a $25 Amex card. There will be the American Indian College Fund tote, our wonderful new little stuffy or plushie, however you call those. And then we have some other swag as well that we'll be throwing in there. So please make sure you fill out the survey by this Friday. I'm going to drop that link in the chat. All names of every student, every staff member, and every college student, high school student, and parent or guardian, you will be entered into a drawing if you complete this survey. Okay, the link is, oh, thank you, Erin. I was just about to copy it, and I see that you did that. Thank you for filling out, or thank you for sending that link. So go ahead, you can start the survey right now while we're wrapping up if you want. Fill out the survey by Friday. This is how we know where to send the prizes. We have to have an email address. Once we have your email address, then we can get in touch with you and say, hey, where do we ship all of this amazing stuff? So if you win, we'll let you know. We'll be drawing for 5 of these. We'll be trying for 5 of these on Monday. So we're going to give all Friday until close of business for people to fill out the survey. And we'll let you know on Monday if you've won. Next slide. High school staff, this is just a reminder that if you are one of our partner staff and I reached out to you and invited your classes to attend the webinar today, I'm going to be checking the Zoom registrations, and if I see you listed as a staff member there, I will ask you to email me 4 things: your first and last name, name of your high school, the city and state location of your high school, and the number of students who are watching in the room with you. That email will come from nativepathways@collegefund.org, so keep an eye out for it. It'll probably come by Friday, so I can do the drawing on Monday. I want to draw for all the prizes on Monday. So we'll do a follow-up email and ask you for all of these things. If by chance you do not see that email come through, you can feel free to reach out to me at nativepathways@collegefund.org. I'm going to drop that email in the chat. And then we will do a drawing for the school with the most attendance to earn $250 towards a pizza party or an ice cream party or a root beer float party, whatever your school decides. If we have more than one school tie, then we'll, let's say we have 3 or 4 or 5 schools that all have the same amount of attendees, then we will do a drawing for those schools and pick the school from the drawing. So it'll be raffled off to the school that is selected. We use kind of like a prize wheel that does the selection randomly. All right, next slide. Here are all of the links for staff, students, and families. We will be sharing all of these with you. So again, if you registered to attend, I'll be shooting out a follow-up email on Monday when I go over the prize winners. I will also share all of the links. I will share this whole recording with you, and I will share the PowerPoint with you as well, so that if you would like to review any of these resources, it's really easy for you to find them. So we have our FAFSA link here, the College Fund website, our scholarships page, Juan's FAFSA step-by-step walkthrough. For staff, we're going to have the FAFSA giveaway page where you can let us know how many students have completed the FAFSA this year. Remember, our high school students that are attending our partner high schools are eligible to earn a $25 e-gift card just for completing their FAFSA. If they show their FAFSA completion page to the staff, you are welcome to just email me who exactly completed the FAFSA through that surveymonkey.com. It provides a really easy way to collect the names and the emails, and I will send them gift cards this year while supplies last. And then I bolded in red the survey by Friday. So if you want to be considered for our prizes, please fill out this survey by tomorrow. And next week, just a reminder, we have another FAFSA follow-up. So if your questions were answered today, then you will have a chance to ask questions of our financial aid expert, Juan Ruiz. All right, next slide. I want to thank you on behalf of the entire American Indian College Fund for attending or for bringing students to this event. Please feel free to follow us on social media. We are on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. If you check out our @NativePathways handle on social media, we post regular reminders about our scholarships there. We post invitations to all of our events throughout the year. So make sure to follow us on social media. All right, Koyana, thank you for attending today. And I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. I hope to see you next week. Goodbye.